Welcome back, everybody. We are now live with the second game of round number 1. This is a knockout tournament. The round of 16 is ongoing. We have Nordebek with his tough task to come back from the loss with the white pieces against Alexandra Kostenyuk. And he's chosen, as you would expect, a very sharp opening with pawn to g6. He has not won the game yet, I'm not sure why it's being shown as 0-1. 1 g6, the so-called modern opening. But after b5, we don't get any moves. I don't know. No. Let's see. I apologize. We'll figure out what's happening. One game that carries a little less intrigue, but the same opening is the matchup between the rating favorite Arjun Erigaisi, who won his first game against Bodhana Sivanandan, and the 9-year-old needs to win to prolong this game and to prolong this match. Arjun is not playing for a draw dryly. He probably likes his chances with the extra 700 rating points. Also goes for the modern. Here he plays pawn to c6. Black has different approaches to play this. Knight f6 is the most quote-unquote normal, going for a pierced defense followed by short castles. But typically when strong players are playing for a win with black, they want to make things a little murkier here, and they often go pawn to a6, as we've seen in Nordebek's game, or pawn to c6, as is the case in this one. c6, queen to d2, and pawn to b5. Pawn to a3, followed by pawn to f3. Knight to d7. Bishop to d3. White just develops the pieces. Now she's moving the a pawn again. This looks a little indecisive. First played a3, now a4. What can we say? She's 9 years old. She's of course outmatched against one of the best players in the world, Arjun Erigaisi. But we'll certainly learn a lot and enjoy, or I'm not sure if enjoy. Even if you're young, you usually don't like losing, but learn a lot from this experience. Pawn to a4, still not a bad move. She's trying to stop black from going c5, but I guess it's still possible to play c5 here, and if d takes c, then pawn to b4 looks alright for black. So I think Arjun's strategy is paying off here, and he could still get the c5 advance in if he wanted, but he chooses to play knight gf6 instead, also very normal. Now getting some pieces out, knight g2, pawn to e5, creating tension like this, saying I already covered the b5 pawn. She played a3 and then a4, so I'll switch plans and go for pawn to e5, more classical, whatever you want to call this, Peart's modern King's Indian type of setup. And I'm trying to figure out what white should do. Probably take a castle, maintaining pretty sturdy position in the center, so it's not like white is worse or anything. But of course, Arjun should manage to get this. Let's have a look at Nordebek's position. The computer no longer thinks that Nordebek won this game after 5 moves because he lost the the first game of the day, and he has to win this game or he's out. This similar opening but very different approach. Kostenjuk, who's a very good theoretician, plays the so-called, I don't know, do you still call the Austrian attack against the modern, or is that just against the peers? I think it's still called Austrian if this is a name. Putting all 3 pawns there with e4, d4 and f4, b5, bishop d3, bishop b7, e5. In the old days, the main line was something like this: knight d7, e5, and c5 with a mess. But up to Satorov, who has a lot of ideas in all kinds of openings, probably looked at this, if briefly maybe trying to get a game. e5, knight to h6, and to get a fighting position, it's not the worst thing that could happen to him. Castles, castles. Pawn to a4, trying to clarify the situation here, but now we will play pawn to b4. If the knight jumps, you can already start thinking about c5. I believe Nordibek will be very, very happy with the outcome of the opening, because to get a sharp game against a strong player like Kostenjuk is by no means a given with black. Of course he can play what he did play, the modern, but even here white has tons of ways to be super solid. Knight f3, bishop e2, knight f3, bishop e3, and so on and so forth. So Kostenjuk gave him a chance for a sharp game here, and that should probably please Nordibek, as it increases his chances to come back. Denglish is my second language, guys. Chat is talking about the alleged cheating, or the cheating scandal in the Spanish league. Yeah, I heard about this during this morning's broadcast, that Kirill Shevchenko, the very strong Ukrainian player, was disqualified for, I guess we still say alleged, for alleged cheating in his games against Basem Amin and Francisco Vallejo. Yeah, I read the story on chess.com and it sounds pretty bad. So other players got suspicious because he was taking long absences from the board. And yeah, he said, because the arbiter pointed out to him that he had a stomach thing and he had to keep going to the toilet. And when they found the when they inspected the cabin, he kept using, because they say he was also waiting outside for one particular cabin to become free and didn't use the others. They found a cell phone which had a handwritten note on it: "Don't touch, the telephone has been left so the owner can answer it at night." Apparently, or this is me speculating, this was done because the day before the cleaners had found a similar phone in the same toilet. So this time there was a note on it: "Don't touch, this telephone has been left so the owner can answer it at night." Not sure if you guys do it. For me, this would not be customary to deposit a telephone in a somewhat public bathroom and then put a note on it to not touch it so I can answer it at night. But we all have different ways to communicate. Anyway, long story short, after an investigation, checking the phone, and comparing the handwriting on that note with his score sheets and so on and so forth, they determined that the case was clear and Kirill Shevchenko was banned from the tournament, and it was passed on to whoever's in charge, the FIDE ethics committee. Yeah, I briefly texted Paco Vallejo. Yeah, it doesn't look good, and it's absolutely shocking if this turns out to be true. Not just that a super strong player like Shevchenko would cheat, and also why, because the risk reward, I mean, if we leave aside the ethical thing, obviously don't cheat, but the risk reward seems so terrible. No, people are already on his case. They found the toilet from the day before, in the bathroom. He was already warned not to leave the playing hall and to notify the arbiter when he goes to the bathroom. And then you keep going to the bathroom, you keep waiting for 10 minutes outside so you can enter the same, whatever it's called, stool, to then check your phone. Like, this is very bad risk management. Yeah, he had to leave a handwritten note as well. I don't know, it all sounds terrible, terrible, terrible. And yeah, of course, that's the worst thing you can do in chess. To cheat ruins the reputation of the game, ruins your own reputation, cheats your colleagues, and makes a mockery out of all professional chess. And for me, obviously don't cheat online either, but there's even a difference with doing it in an over-the-board tournament and the more, the criminal energy involved, but also the pure naivete. Like I said, with this case, what do you expect happens when they find your phone the next day and the arbiter tells you have to notify me when you leave the playing hall, because apparently the toilet was in another area, and he's playing a grandmaster the day before who already gets suspicious, and then could keep doing it? It's just shocking behavior to me. Alright, back to this tournament. Once again, I don't know details. I just read the article about the case on chess.com. But yeah, it's absolutely shocking and very disappointing if it turns out to be true. Alright, let's focus on the games at hand. Pawn to e5, knight to h6, short castles, pawn to a4, and pawn to c5. Nodibek, after Satorov, not wasting any time, trying to spice up the situation. Kseniak should take, and then what's happening? D takes c is bad. Just go a, b. D takes e is more messy. It still gives white some chances, no? A, b, or bishop e4, also interesting. To exchange this powerful bishop ASAP. So my best guess is he wants to play pawn to b4. When after knight to e4, d takes e, things are messier. F takes e, now the knight can jump. And you try to play against these weak pawns. Black should be alright. But there's the extra option to go bishop e4 here, which looks better, frankly. Exchanging this powerful bishop. And now if bishop e4, knight takes e4, d takes e5, looks like white should be in pretty good shape. Not sure how you do it. Take, and knight takes e5, let's say. White is still pawn up. This does not look like an ideal situation. Yeah, nickname. Gotta be careful what type of person you try to ironic. Who have they accused? Kirill Shevchenko. Very strong. Grandmaster, born in Ukraine, now representing Romania. Mehdi Meikani saying, makes you wonder how many smart cheaters are getting away. I don't know. I'm probably naive. I don't think we have that much cheating in chess over the board. And also, this stupidity involved by strong grandmasters and smart people goes to show that there's not, even if you have, I don't know, this might be the wrong take, but even if you have all intentions to cheat, everybody's saying it's so easy nowadays, you just have a Bluetooth device in your shoe, in your whatever, invisible earpiece, and you get signals. The only things we ever hear about is like people trying to hide a phone in the toilet. And you could argue there's a dark number of things we don't catch on, or you could argue that's the only way people know how to cheat Because most chess grandmasters are not wizards at Bluetooth devices, hiding them on your body and establishing the technology in a hall where you also scan for devices. But of course, many people are convinced this kind of stuff keeps happening. I'm a naive guy. I usually believe people are clean until convinced otherwise. But this case, yeah, sounds very bad. Alright, let's have a look at our remaining games here. Vaishali versus Firouzja Vaishali, after a big fight in the first round, is now in this thankless must-win spot, and Alireza seems content, playing solid, also understands what a strong player Vaishali, Prag's older sister, has become. So he doesn't want to mess around here, and he is trying to go for the solid Italian. He's offering to play with this broken up pawn structure here. But such positions usually aren't terrible for black, because you control a lot of central squares in return for your two weak pawns. For your two double pawns, I should say. Although, I'd still take white. Try to shuffle his knight to c4. And yeah, I've seen this structure around plenty. But Vaishali is saying, no, you do it. I'm happy to play the same structure with white and castles. And once again, if I was Alireza, I would go for this castle. Then maybe try to bring the knight here. And I think black should be absolutely okay. Let's move on. Shreyas Royal, the 15-year-old English Grandmaster, against Anand, the legend. First game ended in a draw, so neither side too incentivized here, I guess, to go too crazy. But they just play a theoretical mainline, the mainline Slav, with dc4, a4, bishop f5, knight to e5, knight b7, knight takes c4, and Anand chooses knight b6. Fairly solid line here. Knight e5 or knight e3 are the two main moves. Knight e5 plate. This leaves, yeah, a lot of play left in the position. Black usually goes a5 to stop the white a-pawn from advancing. Now there's a bunch of options. f3, g3, h4 if you fancy. And Royal plays the most solid move. g3, e6, bishop g2, bishop b4, castle, castle, e3. This is how I used to play with white as well, which goes to show you. Very, very dry line. Oh, and there's something happening in the Bodana game. This escalated quickly. Let's go there, because this might be over soon. 9-year-old. Still mildly outmatched here. Played bishop h6, which is not a good idea, because of good old smothered mate themes. Bishop takes, queen queen b6 check. King has to go to the corner. Rook takes a1, rook takes a1. And here comes the problem. Knight f to g4. And there's gonna be issues on f2. F takes g, knight takes g4. Now if the queen were to go here, you guys have probably... I was gonna show the smaller mate, but it doesn't work. I was gonna show this. But this would be less than ideal after knight takes g1. However, the position is still not very good for white, because knight takes e4 does pick up the queen. So this queen doesn't have any good square to go to. Queen f4. Similar issues, or knight takes d3. So what I'm trying to say is the game is over. Knight f2 check will win the game. And yeah, there was a quick adventure. But yeah, what to say, of course. It's a big level difference, and I guess she was also a bit nervous, because these are tricks that she can spot also. I don't think how she played her reflects on her level, but she's 9, and what tremendous experience it must have been. Every guy he won't complain, he will move on to the, how do you call it, the quarterfinals, the round of 8, with minimum energy expended. Yeah, this is resigns. Best white can do is probably queen here. Takes, and then try to run with the king. But black is just 2 pawns up with a raging attack. So, not going to go too well. So I was talking about the Royal Anand game. Looks like proceedings are developing fairly normally. White is a little bit better, bishop e3 targets the knight. And Anand either has to go back with a queen to cover it, or move the knight to a square that's not ideal, knight c8. So I would guess this, some rook to c1. Here maybe you can take the pawn, I'm not sure. Maybe knight a2. White looks a little bit better, but nothing dramatic has happened yet. Bologan also in a must-win situation against Pragnanda, but Prag doesn't seem to be too inclined to try to shut it down either. He plays the Philidor, which is bold opening choice when he, of course, could play much more solidly as well. But he goes d6. Bologan not in the mood to find out what Prag had in mind after d4. Plays g3. Solid move, but less challenging. And Pragnanda says, no, I want the structure, because here he had another chance to play c5, which to my mind looks very logical, just trying to stop d4. He goes g6. And now you get this typical type of Philidor position, which should be a bit better for white. But black is solid, and clearly it was what Pragnanda wanted for this game, so he's probably not too upset. Then we have Raunak Sadvani against Parham Asadlu. Sadvani won the first game, so Parham has to win on demand with black. He plays h6, a line Gukesh used in the candidates to win a key game. Of course, a daring choice, having to win on demand. Sadvani goes e4, c5, d5, makes some principal moves. E takes d, e takes d, looks very logical. Parham is trying to mix it as quickly as possible with pawn to b5, probably. Still in prep here as well. C takes b, short castles, bishop c4, trying to cover the pawns. Pawn to a6, knight e2, happy to give one pawn back to finish development. Looks like both sides will be more or less happy under the circumstances, if that makes sense. White managed to keep the position under control, develop his pieces, and should be slightly better. And black has an unbalanced structure and still enough potential to play for a win. I know what you do. Bishop takes, let's say knight takes, knight b4, then d5. But it's gonna be a very tough task for Masalu to beat Sadvani from here. Then we have the encounter between Sindarov and MVL. MVL playing his first love, the Grunfeld. He's recently become a big Queen's Gambit accepted player as well. But for this game, he returns to the Grunfeld, and Sindarov plays one of the most solid lines known to man with his bishop b5 check. Takes and queen c2, the trendy move. Very, very safe line for white, even though You do sacrifice a pawn. Sometimes it's still a super solid setup. The main line goes something like c takes d, bishop g4, knight e5, queen takes d4, bishop b2, queen b6, rook b1, takes, and black is a pawn up, but with the opposite colored bishops and the slightly weakened black king. The only side that can be better is white. MVL goes for queen a5 instead, which is a move he's also played before. Not a surprise for Sindarov, who plays the main move a4, and rook to d8. Here, I think there's still an option to go for the same type of position I just showed with cd, bishop g4, knight e5 and takes, very similar. Let's say rook d8 is played, bishop a3, c takes d, bishop g4, Maxine. I think he's played all this before. h3, bishop e6, bishop takes e7. Extremely solid choice by both sides, because here you have bishop b3, getting rid of this bishop, simplifying the position further, or exchanging queens. If white goes queen c5, takes. And yeah, I would be pretty shocked if this game ended in anything but a draw. I guess white is still slightly for choice, although I don't even know why white should be better here. Black is sort of threatening to push the c-pawn, so you can exchange it. I'm expecting a draw and a tie break in this one also. That they made a draw in the previous game in a very complicated position seems to show there's mutual respect and they wouldn't mind making it to the tie break. Arjun blundered. Where? Going... Ah no, this must be a transmission mistake. Yeah, I can see it's shown knight takes e4. No, that didn't happen. No, he went knight fg4. That's a transmission error, and they got this position. No, that didn't happen. Also, the correct move was shown first. Something's off there with the computer wiring, because I can see here as well. It shows knight takes e4, which did not happen. This makes no sense. Then knight takes e4 happens. No, that didn't happen. The correct move order and the one played, I'm 100% sure. It's knight g4, takes. Queen h4, knight f2. And we've seen she does not resign easily, so probably this will go till mate, but it's not gonna be tough for Arjun to convert this. Knight goes to c4, white king. It's in the center. Black has 2 extra pawns already. He has b4 at his disposal whenever needed to kick this knight away. It's just game over. Alright, we're still not done with our tour. We've seen MVL, Sindarov. Yeah, still expect a quick draw. Rook b7, rook c4, f3 played there. Rook b4, let's say. Yeah, nothing big should happen here. And the last game that we have not covered yet is Vidit against Topalov. Vidit needs to draw with the white pieces to move to the next round. Topalov plays the Slav, allowing the exchange Slav. Just maybe saying he doesn't really believe in his chances to come back after losing the first game with white. Or he's gonna find a way to mix things up in the exchange Slav. And yeah, that's what he's trying to do. Goes for knight e4. Rare move. The most common move. Here's bishop to f5. Knight e4 used to be a thing like 15-20 years ago, which is also when Topalov was most active. Modern computers are not in love with this, and I'm sure Topalov knows this, but he has to find a way to spice things up a bit. e3 played, e6. Now there's a choice, but Vidit goes for knight takes e4. I think Compy wants like bishop b5 here or something. Anyway, knight takes e4, probably also good. And probably, although Vidit's spending a lot of time, so maybe he doesn't know this line. And I would say probably he knew what he was doing. but he's taking some time. So maybe Topalov did manage to get him out of book. Castles, rook to c1. Still looks fairly solid for white. Compy is saying black should play e5 here, but that's not really a winning attempt either. Takes. Some queen g5. But position. The white position remains super solid, something like this. Bring the pieces out. So Topalov plays knight to e7 instead, trying to keep some more tension in the position. But that means he has to play worse position as well. Now just bishop e2. Knight d5, bishop g3. White has a stable advantage and a very, very stable position. Yeah, I don't see Vidit losing this. Vidit plays Exchange Slav for win as an Olympiad, does he? I only recall the Exchange Slav game. There was a quick draw with black against Uzbekistan from the Olympiad, but maybe I missed it, and I've certainly seen Vidit play the Exchange Slav before. I'm a big fan. It's a series opening, just allowing it with black in a must-win situation. It's a little surprising, but Exchange Slav is good. So here we are. Vidit looks on track. I keep coming back to this game. I probably shouldn't, of course. Erigaisi will win. Nothing to see here. But still, somewhat fascinating. And Arjun, yeah, is not taking any chances. Just exchanges queens, saying 2 pawns up should do. Now he can just go rook a8. Not allowing any counterplay. The problem is it's not just the 2 pawns, but the black structure is also so much better. Because of the 2 pawns. Knight c4, b4, c5, knight e5. Not much is gonna happen. So let's go to Kostenyuk against Nordibek. Nordibek might be kicking himself for the move order he chose, because after a4 he could have gone b4, knight e4, c5. And after b4, white cannot play bishop e4, because now there's d5 and 2 pieces are under attack. So that doesn't work. But instead, Abdusatorov played c5, d takes c, and now b4, allowing this clever little move bishop e4, which is what Kostenyuk played. Now it's going to be much harder to make a fight out of this. I think he missed this little, it's not a Zwischenzug, but this little finesse. It looks to me like white is just doing fine now. Uh-oh. Will this tournament be over? For one of the big favorites, 2.783 rated Nordibek Abdusatorov, the former rapid world champion, Olympic gold medalist. This could be it. Of course, still a lot of chess to be played. But now white has a very stable, good position as far as I can see. You can't take here. Takes and c6. It's just terrible. Maybe you have to play some funky move like rook to a7. But if white wants to be solid, she can just take, go knight to e4. I don't really see too much play here. D takes e, f takes e, or queen e2. But even if we're being very primitive. Okay, now here there's chances, according to Compy. And yeah, rook a7 played. Computer's first line, but that's more complicated and weirder to me at least. Is knight to d5, and then to sacrifice a piece after e6 with c takes d, ed bishop d5. Not something you typically do in a situation where it draws enough. So she should probably go for this position, and now should not exchange queens, but recapture on e5 one way or another. Probably with a knight. Okay, there is still some play remaining. But I like white's chances. Pawn up, pieces out. This is going to be difficult. So how do you guys feel about the format? I'm not sure if you've been here all day watching this exciting show. I feel it's tough for the players. 2 4-hour games per day. Okay. Erigaisi maybe didn't have to use too much energy yet. But once they start facing players of equal strength, I think there's also no rest. Maybe there's a rest day in the middle, but there's no rest day tomorrow. So you might play chess for, whatever, let's say 9 hours today with a tiebreak, and then do it again tomorrow, plus preparing. Sounds tough. I kind of like the knockout, but I would make the games short, like 1 hour per game. They're supposed to play tiebreaks today at 10 p.m. More entertainment than usual like this, alright. No rest days. Chance of tired makes mistakes. Of tired mistakes makes for interesting chess. Fair enough, fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, for organizers, of course, it has its pros. And maybe for players as well. You lose, you go home, and also, even if you keep going, it's just a 5-day tournament. So it's much, much faster paced, and you get the same number of classical games than you would normally get in, whatever, 10, 11 days. You can see my mug. The game should be staggered, so Jan has to work 24/7. It's not a bad idea. Didn't read the fine print. I literally thought it was 1 hour games. I was surprised 1 hour games count as classical. But it's 1 hour for 30 moves. But I'm only here today and tomorrow, so I'll probably survive. No, I'm doing today and tomorrow. I'm not sure if somebody else will take over after that. I got things to do. I have to return some videotapes. And it's certainly a good experience for the young English players in the field, Shreyas Royal. And 9-year-old Bodana once again fighting for a lost cause here. Players should be allowed to invalidate one legal move of their opponent every game. But maybe not like recaptures, right? That would be too much. Like here, if you invalidate king takes f2, it's checkmate. No, I feel we have to work on that rule. Alright, where's the action? Anna went knight to c8. Probably not loving yet to play that move. Best position is still solid. Rook a c1. He goes queen e6. Good move apparently. Too complicated for me. Why do you go queen e6? Just getting ready for f4. Get Laurent Fressinet to take over for day 3. Great idea, great idea. Not in my hands, but I'm all for it. What's Alireza doing? Is he trying to be worse? He took, which looks fine, but now he didn't take on e3, but went bishop b4. 95, 97. Why? Even if white plays c3, the bishop has to go back here. He just lost time. Force the knight to the square, wants to go anyway. And now there's bishop g5, then b4. Reza taking some liberties here. Maybe he thought he can bluff her and she wouldn't play knight d5 because of knight takes e4. But she was not bluffed. Here, I guess, this is cute actually. Do I get this? Let's see. I guess the trick is knight takes e5. This is weird. If knight takes e5 we can take, and if d takes e5, there's queen to g4. I'm still trying to wrap my head around why this is so good. Hitting the knight, if the knight goes to f6 then queen takes g7. If the knight goes to c5, knight takes b4 wins. And if the knight goes to d6, this is apparently just crushing. So it could be that Alireza intended to take the pawn. Then he realized that knight takes e5, very weird move, was an issue. And kudos. I don't know if Vaishali calculated all this, or knew all this, or just felt, which is also fair enough. There was no other move than knight d5, because he can't allow bishop takes c3 anyway. So this was pretty much forced. But now, Firouzja played knight d7, which, yeah, I'm sure that was not his plan. And he probably should have gone for this anyway. D takes e, queen g4. Compi says short castles. And if queen takes e4, there's f5. Text Vadim forcefully suggests Laurent Fressinet for day 3. Not sure Vadim knows who Laurent Fressinet is. But yeah, I'll work on it. Okay, so Alireza in some trouble. How's this not in your notes? I don't know. Bishop b4. I've never seen b4. And also with white, yeah, I would really want to take these two instead of allowing the structure with short castles, because you can just take here and here. I'm not currently working on a new chessable, but maybe next year, who knows what the future will bring. Thanks for asking. Means someone's watching the old ones, but no, not currently working on a new one. But you never know. Probably do one day. All right, so Alireza in some trouble. F4 played by Shreyas Royal. It's only 15, but looks like he's just playing very mature, no nonsense chess as well, no? Like if you're gonna play, what do you play in game number 1? The open Spanish, and then some d4, g3 sidelines. When you're 15, what will you do when you're old? Prag got the opening he wished for. Just play rook b8, preparing b5. Still take white. Just a4. And then try to get the pieces out. But he wanted a fighting position full of pieces. And that's what he got. Shreyas did really well at the British Championships. Yeah, he looks good. Looks strong. And like I said, there's been a bit of a drought of talent in English chess for the last 15 years. Is that fair? It's exciting to have a young, new, promising grandmaster coming up there. I think course how to draw quickly with white is very much needed, especially for these knockout tournaments. It's not a bad idea. The chicken 1d4 white repertoire will probably take care of that. All the chicken 1e4, it's a little easier to force draws with 1e4 than with 1d4. Also, strong contender. My voice is abandoning me. Good thing we only have like 4 or 5 hours of chess left today. They've been short on talent for a while. Say wordplay, miles of moves in one short win. You could argue Howell is the last project from England. You could argue that. Is MVL managing to get into trouble here? Looks mildly unpleasant all of a sudden. Rook b4, rook c7. Still betting on a draw. But computer is smelling some chances for white here. Some weird stuff. Too complicated for me as usual. But Comp is doing some fancy things and saying white has some pressure. French school of suffering is right. He's seen worse. Jonathan Beeson is saying, it seems like Mickey Adams has been at the top of the British table forever. Nigel Short before him, going back more than 30 years. Yeah, I don't think Mickey is literally at the top of the table anymore. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah, he's been a top player for very much 30 years. Before that, I'm not that well versed in English chess history hierarchy. Miles was pretty good. But yeah, that doesn't strike me as so outrageous, but I'm not an expert on the British or English chess tournament scene. It seemed like it has dried up over the last couple of years. Vida Topalov game. Vida just needs to draw. It'll be very hard to make this messy against him. Gesticulate is saying Mickey is in the highest rated now, but on his day still capable of beating the best. Alright, Gesticulate. So when did Mickey beat the best? Was the best Magnus Carlsen? Last. To make such statements, we need dates. Confirmation. Big fan of Mickey. Just teasing. In England, lots of chess below 11, but dies out later. Yeah, 11. It's usually the age people figure out. Might do something useful with my time. Get out of this chess nonsense. So I think that's not just an English problem. Mickey won last year's LCC. Repeat my question though. No, Mickey is still great. Last year's LCC was the one. Everybody thought Gukesh had to win to make it to the candidates. Then he didn't. And what happened? I missed the candidates? I know you didn't. Ritik Kumar saying he defeated Magnus last in 2010. Yeah, that's what I would have guessed. Still very, very impressive. See, Gesticulate? You're slowly retracting your statement. Text Vadim about Mind Games 2012. Who won Mind Games 2012 again? I don't recall. Must have been a strong tournament, no? Grishuk, Nakamura, Gayakin. Many strong players. Giri. I can't recall who won. Sadvani against Masoodlu. Do you have to play a3? Okay, can't be too bad. But black can go d4, because knight is not really. Under attack. Sigeti face can't remember either. Someone has to know. Check, can you look it up? Mind Games 2012. Magnus win? What's going on here? Knight t4? This is a little messier than Sadvani would like it to be. I guess it's still under control. Black has his passer, but white has the bishops. The pieces will eventually come out. But Parham gets a lot of activity here. He's very, very dangerous. Marta Dulu saying, how did I wake up to yet another new toilet gate involving a GM? Yeah, I also heard about it during this morning's commentary. Shocking stuff. Puyamari saying, which year? Mind Games 2012. For some reason, some people keep bringing up the Mind Games 2012 must have been. Special chess tournament. Not quite sure why. 94, 97. Yeah, no, I guess white is still fine. But some hope here for Parham to make this a mess. Should repeat the time control. Very unusual time control. You have to make the first 30 moves in 1 hour. First 30, not 40 as we're accustomed to. In 1 hour. Then you get half an hour for the next 20 moves. And then another half hour after move 50 for the rest of the game. Puyama is saying Laurent Fressinet won? Hard to believe. Tie with Hikaru. Wow. Laurent won Mind Games? Well, it's a super strong tournament, no? Aren't there many top players in the field? I find that hard to believe. Okay, looked it up. You only remember Dortmund 2006? I don't recall that one. I didn't play. 2008. 2008 was better. Yeah, Maxime under mild pressure. But very mild. I did see the Shevchenko news, yeah, we discussed it already. Shocking. What's Fidit doing? What's the queen doing here? Weird square. Okay, I guess he wants to stop bishop b5. Not sure he's exactly stopping it, actually. By keeping an eye on this pawn. Something like this still looks possible, with the trick being after rook b1. We have a little intermezzo, rook c8. Puya saying, I might be wrong, there are a lot of tables with different standings, I don't know which one it is. Yeah, I'd be shocked if Laurent Fressinet won a tournament of that caliber. But yeah, thanks for looking it up anyway. Probably Nakamura won, no? If Laurent Fressinet really won Mind Games, he should do the WR commentary on day 3. I'm not the type of person You can ironic or have to convince. I'm all for it. Not sure if he's available. Very busy man. So watch football, pick up kids, training, go play blitz games. Travel to Dax, travel back to Paris. It's busy. Let's check back in. With Ali Reza, great player. Knight E1, strong move. Preparing Knight D3. Daring Ali Reza to take. This structure just looks unpleasant for black. Go A5. You keep expanding here. Don't like it. If he doesn't take, the knight just jumps, no? Vashali playing very well. You two were the best duo ever. That sounds like a bit of a stretch, no? Best duo ever. No. Must be some others. Like Roxette. You don't think Roxette were better than Laurent and I? How's Nodibek doing? Eric B and Rakim. EPMD. Maybe best chess duo. Yeah, I'll take that. They did have the look. They did hit the road out of nowhere. Had to jump in that car. Be a rider in a love game. Following the stars. They didn't need no fortune teller. Laurent doesn't mince his words, doesn't mince his breath. Sorry, weird joke. Anyway, this is getting off the rails. This is a serious tournament, serious chess show. Let's have a look at Alexandra Kostenyuk, who won her first game with the black pieces against Nuribek Apisatorov and is now trying to move on to the next round. She played queen to d5, interesting move. Nuribek counter with rook d7, his point being that if this knight moves, like Christopher Lambert, then there's d takes e5 with the discovered attack on the queen. Of course, Alexandra has spotted that and goes away with the queen, queen c4. Material is equal now. E takes f4 played by Nuribek. He also had rook d1, which might have been interesting. But he takes. Kostenyuk recaptures. Knight f5. Strange position, but maybe still nice for white. c3, I guess, is important. Takes to cover this d4 square. So the knights can't jump there. Jonathan Beeson is saying, I enjoyed you and Lawrence Trent back in the day. You were the guy. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I had a lot of fun with Trenty boy. Wishing him well. I know what this position is. Not too well, of course. Giant ego on that guy. So if things go too well, that's a problem. But well in general. What is this position? Maybe white's better, but it's a mess. Not exactly calm and under control. And we missed Bodana's checkmate. She did fight till the end, but to no avail. Arjun Erigaisi wins 2-0, moves on to the next round. Congrats to Arjun. Finished the game with more time than he started with. Yeah, but he gets another half hour on move 30 and another half on move 50. So that's not that hard. Did Lawrence give up on becoming GM? I don't think so. He just needs someone to give him 100k so he can dedicate some of his precious time to actually becoming a GM. He's busy. Archon. Going for the pawn end game. Yeah. She is a tough fighter. Almost stalemate. King h6 would have been stalemate. They saw it. When king g6, king g8, queen f2. Archon's not messing around, is he? He just gives checkmate as fast as possible here. I don't know. It's probably the right thing to do. But you wouldn't be tempted to try to get like 3 queens here? Maybe not. Congrats to Eric IC. Makes for the next round. Kosteric played a5? What cover was that? Why? b2 is hanging. Hate that move. And slightly more importantly, computer also doesn't like it. Very surprisingly, whenever I'm doing commentary and getting more tired, my opinions seem to be very aligned with the computer's opinions. Why would you play a5? His pawn is on prise. Go c3. Block all the pieces. Stop the bishop. Stop the horsey. Ah, people meant Lawrence trend. I was surprised Laurent Fressinet was getting that much love. a5 fixing a weakness? Yeah, I don't know. Like German chess star Kugelbuch would say, is this pawn a weakness or is it a Schwäche? Why fix it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Play c3. Be better. I don't get this. Now takes. Check. And black is just much better all of a sudden. Alright. What to do? Thanks, Puya. We did have a good time, didn't we? Can't run the clock back. That was fun, sitting in studio with Trent showing up. Hangover, telling about his nightly adventures. I was still a naive 30-something and trying to keep the show on track. Was fun. But that wouldn't fly in the modern era. People after 2 minutes would start complaining. Talk about chess, cover the position. You guys aren't the stars of the show. We want to know what's happening on the board, which is my main weakness as a chess commentator. Don't care too much. Guess that's a bit of a drawback. Anyway, Alireza, still a bit worse. Queen e1, knight e7. Yeah, white is still better. Gesticulate. I know. But as a wise man once said, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. What's going on here? How did they make like 8 million moves in the last minute? Guys, it's not a blitz tournament. So e5. d6. Was that a blunder? Looks like he blundered, no? I think he blundered rook d6, or maybe he blundered bishop e4 at the end of this line. If I could choose a co-commentator to join me right now, who would I choose? That's an excellent question. Probably Keanu Reeves. I like these John Wick movies. We could also talk about, Point Break, The Matrix. Seems like he's a very chill guy. So I think that's my number one choice. Rook d2. I guess Shreyas calculated up till here, and he saw he had rook e1, threatening rook e8 check, and if black makes a luft, then you would win material. But of course, Vichy has anticipated this. He plays the very beautiful bishop to e4. The point being that if you take, now we can just take the pawn, and with the bishop gone, the king has a luft. Well, if you take with the bishop, then the bishop blocks the open file. And after rook d7, rooks are not allowed to jump over bishops, last time I checked. So once again, black is winning. Very pleasant move to the eye, no? Like, it's forced and not tough for Vichy. But you don't often see this. I don't even know what these chess motives are called, but this type of geometry. If you take with the bishop, block the rook. If you take with the rook, the square is vacated. Very pretty. A latest gossip on the Shevchenko situation? No, I just read the article on Chess.com, and yeah. Seems, from what I read, the situation is fairly clear-cut. But keep asking around. Briefly text Paco. Yeah, looks like Vichy made him enter a blitz contest here. 96. Probably got too excited when he saw this d7 rook e1. Vichy calculated one move further. But also the problem is, if black can't take, you're almost winning here. Rook e7, knight b7. So take some time before 96. You have plenty of time. Make sure it works, because then if you think this through one more time, you will spot that S7 resigns. Black will probably go bishop e4 here. Norval Roger saying, I hope they're paying you double, Jan. No, I didn't read the fine print. I thought it was half the time. I literally thought it was 1 hour games. But I'm having a good time. All good. Thanks for hanging out. Apologies, we don't have cameras or insights. The usual. But happy to be here. Should we 3 b5, queen d2, king h7, g5, b4, knight c2. Looks like Pragg got what he wanted. I'm still not in love with his position, but he clearly did want another fight. Chose not to play for a draw. And a fight it is. No idea what's going on. Bring back Bantamblitz, Jan. Not up to me. Send your complaints to Danny Wrench at chess.com. That might be his email. I don't know, actually. I'm always happy to do Bantamblitz. I'm doing a bunch on my German Twitch channel. But it's only German. Because you can probably tell. Common tongue is tough for me. Anyway, we're here to commentate on the games. So let's do that. Yeah, Pragg should be happy. What's happening here? 94. We're looking at queen b6. So we'll play queen d5. But that allows a tactic. I'm tired. Knight takes c5. Nice little trick. Incredible sequence here. Because if queen takes c5, the point is a takes b4. we have this discovered attack on the rook, a b queen b5. Rook a8, white wins material. So after knight c5, Zulu plays knight 4 c6, and sequence very funny. White goes b4, and the knight goes back. Knight takes b4. Now black is not really threatening to take here because of a takes b4, but white is also not threatening to take because of rook takes a1. So, to go bishop b2. Prag bringing new life into the King's Indian. It's not a King's Indian, it's a Philidor. I don't think so. I think he just wanted to play another chess game today. Keep it messy. But I don't think he's trying to revive the King's Indian. He's just looking for a fight today. And Prag can play all kinds of things. It's one of his big strengths. He's very hard to catch in the opening because he knows stuff in all types of openings. He's extremely diligent, works very hard. So hard to trap him in whatever his favorite Berlin, because he can do anything. Position is still a mess, and he's taking his time here. But yeah, I don't think he's trying to revive the King's Indian. Nordebek is better now. Yeah, a5 I did not like one bit. I also don't understand it, because c3 literally does so many things. It keeps the b2 pawn alive, covers the d4 square, gets rid of this intruder. Looked like such a nice move to play. After a5, bishop b2, and this check. Yeah, things have gone very wrong. Guess you go king h1. Knight c6. But even these endgames, now with the b pawn still alive, the a pawn. It's probably not long for this world. f1 h5. Now this looks terrible. Nordebek, a big favorite to force the tiebreak here. And all because of this one move. Sasha was doing well. But a5 can only be explained with fatigue. Why give this pawn? Yeah. I guess she was thinking if knight c6 then she can take and the pawn is closer to queening. But really it's not a priority. Doesn't look like a priority at all in the position. So yeah, don't like it. Even after this, it's messy. Yeah, now it's just bad. Queen a6 played. Queen a8 is a nice move to make though, because there are enough weaknesses in white's position that you don't need any trickery. You can just play the structure. Nordebek has always been a very good technician. So I think he's gonna play that and grind it out. Alright, moving on. Vaishali is still better against Alireza. The structure has simplified somewhat. Takes, 97. She just went a5, which looks fine. Alireza takes in cd. Some King's Indian-esque structure. Short castles. But likewise chance here, queen b4. Targets the pawn, forces black to somewhat awkward queen move. Queen c8 or queen b8. Rook b8, there's bishop a7. Or b6, but also not very pretty. And then, I don't know, can bring the rook. Try to cause some more trouble here. Black's counterplay with f5 is not very scary just yet. You just take it. The bishop on e3 covers everything. So far, good game by Vaishali. Let's see if Alireza manages to mix it. Vichy, after this, very nice. Whatever you call this, tactical motive. Interference. Bishop e4. Rook e4, rook d7. Now with the pawn up. Second time is pawn up in an endgame against Shreyas Royal. But this time there's also knights. Knight versus bishop. And these weaknesses to target on the queen side. I would be very surprised if Vichy let this one go. Even if he hasn't been that active recently, his hand is still so incredibly good. I think he's gonna just convert this one. What's going on? GF King E2. Whoa. Zwischenzug. Okay, the rook goes somewhere. Takes King G7. Nah. Still think Alan's gonna get the job done here. Prague went knight G8. Didn't take. Knight G8 takes. Knight takes. Not the greatest square for the knight. Slightly dominated here. But the general notion still stands. He won the murky position with all three results in play. That's what he got. Like here you can play knight e5, for example, threatening knight c4, b3. That's this little shot. So there will be mess. If Ray has any fork, he does his royal fork. Fair point. Sadvani Masudlu, b4, knight takes b4, bishop b2, knight c6 back. Yeah, this sequence does amuse me. But probably Parham is not that amused, because now there's no more dynamics in the position. White is just better with the two bishops and the more active pieces. Rook e1, this pawn is fairly well controlled. Can even go for an endgame with queen b3. Masudlu has to win because he lost the first game. I don't see it happening. And Savani plays queen b3 directly. Also looks good. Oh, Mr. Dodgy is here. His favorite event, the WR chess. What's happening, Mr. Dodgy? Long time. Yeah, Raunak is not going to lose his position. Which means Masudlu is out. Unless there's a miracle. By the way, because I keep mixing like first names, second names, everything. How do we address people properly in chess? Like this guy. Call him MVL, call him Maxime, call him Vachila Graf. Frenchman with three names. I never know. Any info about Jordan Schlansky? He has various tasks and responsibilities. No, I'm not sure what you mean. So, Monsieur Maxime captured the pawn. Bishop f6. It's gotta be a job. Maxime has defended worse. They'll play tie break because this it's not enough chess today. Chestikle is saying Prague is Prague, Vaishali is Vaishali. That I'm aware of, and those I use, I hope, correctly, because I've also asked Prague. Because usually when he's announced at some tournament or mentioned, they always like to put in the Ramesh Babu, which is the parental name. But he says no. It's just Pragnanda. Same with Vidit. He's just Vidit. Or with Anand. Like as Europeans and someone in the chess world has been adopted. Since we're so used to first name and last name, always need two names. But that I understand. And also, I'm not sure it's normally handled. Vishy once explained to me that if you address him casually, he's Anand. And if you address him formally, he's Mr. Anand. I'm not sure how that's handled. I've seen, like, even in formal settings, usually people just address him as Anand. But no, that I understand. And also, Arjun Erigaisi is different. There, Arjun is first name, and Erigaisi is the last name. With Bodana, I'm not sure. So if someone could educate me there, I'd appreciate it. But Vashiela Graf remains an unsolved mystery. This idiot, yeah, not Maxime, but in general, this idiot is way. People like to be addressed in chess. Magnus Mr. Carlsen, that I'm also aware of. Bodana is just Bodana. Yeah, that's what I was suspecting, but I wasn't sure. It's like Wendland and Herr Wendland. Wendland is friendly, while Herr Wendland is formal. I don't know what Wendland is, but that analogy doesn't work, no? Because for me, for example, if you address me casually, it's Jan. And if you address me formally, it's Your Highness. So I think it always depends, like where you're from. Like these social norms are very, very complicated to figure out. Will we be doing any band splits in the future? I don't know. I'd love to. Wendland is a German last name. I don't know. I don't understand the reference, but there. To continue the analogy, that guy will probably have a first name. Like Klaus. So if you address him casually, you would never call him Wendland. You would call him Klaus. Formally, it's Mr. Wendland. That's why we keep getting confused about these things. Mr. Raunak, not confused at all. Win knight b3. He's not called Klaus. Point still stands. Yeah. Raunak's doing fine now. Vidit. Takes. H4, H5. Is this getting exciting, or is Vidit just wrapping things up here? I'm not sure. I guess white is too solid for too much drama. Where Anna comes from in India, his father's first name will be his last name. Yeah, that I understand that Shvanatan is the parental name, but for Europeans to wrap our head around, the tricky part is that, yeah, for me, my first name is Jan, my last name is Gustafsson, so casually you address me as Jan, and formally you address me as Mr. Gustafsson, while with Anand it's Anand and Mr. Anand. And the Vishwanathan doesn't enter the equation, so the parental name is not used to address you if you're Tamil, right? That's why there's always all this confusion. That's true. You can use, especially in high school or college, people's last name informally. That happens. For them, it's more of a nickname situation. All right, let's move on from this name debate. So, if you want to address Tupala formally, you should use no Vaseline, like Ice Cube. Moving on. C8. Scandinavians take their father's first name as last name. Incorrect. So is Anna Kramling really Anna Juansson? No. She's Swedish. My name is Swedish too. We just keep our last names. They only do that in Iceland. They have like 300,000 people in Iceland. So I guess they don't get too confused changing their last name all the time. But no. I have an example for you. Magnus Carlsen and Henrik Carlsen. Both Scandinavians. Both have the same last name. I know. It's crazy. Dave Entler. Excellent. Anna's winning here. Even Scandinavians have a choice to have a non-lineage based last name. Yeah, it also must be exhausting to change last names all the time. No, like, yeah, that's not really being done that much. Prague. F4, F5 and E5? Why E5? Takes. Rook 81. 94, what's going on now? Takes. The bishop is hanging, but the bishop could move. Black's fine, yeah? Cricket, you're wrong about Vidit. I mean, I know he's from a different part of India, but he's also just Vidit, I think. At least I asked him, and that's what he told me. I visit Berlin often. No, I was there last week. Not that often. Scary place. They stole my computer. Can't afford to go that often. Okay, so Prague's doing well now. Anna should be winning. Vidit. Okay, it's still a fight, but should normally not lose this and move on to the next round. Sindarov against MVL, still expecting a draw. Nordebek is now completely winning. That escalated quickly. So he'll get his tie break. Just takes. How is he like 5 pawns up all of a sudden? One, 2, 3. Yeah, they were taken. Still waiting for the ding call. I'm starting to think it might not happen. I might have to go to Thailand to do commentary on the match. Isn't Trent a finance guy now? That's generous terminology. Shout out to Trent. Yeah, this is resignable. Note back. We'll get to the tiebreak. MVL Sindarov tiebreak should be interested. Yeah, both very strong players at any time control. But especially at fast time controls, I agree. Anand should win without any tiebreak. I don't think he's gonna let this one get away as well. Pragnanda also looks in good shape. Yeah, Parham didn't look like he was ready to put up. A big fight after that heartbreak in the morning round. It's also not a problem of the format, but tough. That if you lose a game or you mess up something, you don't have a lot of time to recover. Normally you can at least be mad at yourself for 2-3 hours, then have dinner, have a walk, and then you prepare for the next game at 3 p.m. the next day. It's easier to shake off tilt. But here, if you only have like 2-3 hours between games, it's really rough. Okay. This is over, at least in the sense that Parham is not going to win it. Might have a chance to put up a decent defense here with the exchange down, but limited material. I don't know. You go f6, 95. Try to sit there. So he might even hold it, but it's not going to help him to stay in the match because he lost the first one. So where do we have excitement? Maybe here? Vaishali keeps playing very well against Alireza. Alireza is not exactly patient. He doesn't have the time to be. He has to attend fashion classes. He has to crush chess super tournaments. He has to design clothes. He has to buy clothes. He's busy. But he did sacrifice this pawn here. Does he have enough for it? I'm sure he will ask some questions. But objectively, computer lingo, the queen goes away. It's just a pawn up, no? Was a pawn sack necessary? I didn't love black's position, so I guess he just thought instead of suffering passively, should at least try to suffer actively. Pawn down. Gesticulates saying Vaishali looks underrated to me. She just keeps getting stronger. No, I think soon her rating will also keep catching up, and she's been gaining rating like crazy already. She's not. She's older than Prag. I think she's like 24. But it looks like the last couple of years she's really picked it up. And yeah, she's gonna be very, very strong player for sure. I keep getting everybody's ages wrong, so by all means, fact check me on those. I think Vaishali is 24, but she's been proving at a very, very fast pace last couple of years. Yes, position was difficult. As you mentioned, rook b8, there was always bishop a7, so rook b3. Very much an issue. Now at least Alireza gets some activity. But yeah, his position clearly should be bad. Queen c2, queen e2. Am I blundering something? I was worried about this, but yeah, even this. Still not fun for black. Do you try Stockfish 17? I've used it with remote engines when doing serious stuff. And I've been lazy updating like my local engines. I think I'm still on Stockfish 16, not even 16.1. I'm sure 17 is better, but I've been slow. But honestly, I've believed everything they said, pretty much, since Rybka. So of course you try to work with the latest version, but I can't say. I mean, with Leela you were getting some fresh ideas. So Leela was different, then they incorporated all this NNU stuff into Stockfish as well. But the last couple versions of Stockfish, I'm just saying, oh yeah, good move. Yeah, professionals are either using cloud engines or they have like some monster somewhere in the basement. By monster, I mean a strong computer. But yeah, I've been clouding. Without giving away too much, are you still helping any top player these days? Not currently, and if I'll help one, I won't give away too much, don't worry. Just my charming personality. Queen c2 played, that allows knight g3, which Alireza should probably do. I'm not sure he's dreaming of doing that, but I think it's his best chance, objectively, to save the game. Prag is keeping Sidler in the basement, absolutely. Takes something like b3, and here I guess you have decent drawing chances. Although I would assume Alireza maybe is right, because he's, of course, the stronger player on paper, will try to keep more play in the position, but then he very much risks losing it. Yeah, he played h5. He doesn't want any of this knight g3 business. But like I said, objectively, he's in trouble. Cute move here is bishop a7. The point more being rook goes somewhere. Now rook f3. Swing this guy who's been a bit of a spectator. Over here, queen g6. Takes, and f3. This is not gonna end very well for black. Takes. Check. King g8, queen b3. Black is busted. I guess after bishop a7, rook a8 is a bit more resilient. It's not exactly fun either. Same. It takes, and if rook takes f3, uses the pin. So bishop a7, bit of a random tactical shot, but this could be trouble. She gonna spot it. Alireza playing with fire here. Omkar is a believer. Why can't he move the rook after bishop a7? I thought I was moving the rook. Basically, white wants rook f3, takes, and then f3. Bishop a7, knight g3 is not helping, is it? Takes. If knight takes, bishop takes b8. Check. It's just a check. But yeah, this didn't happen. She played rook b3, also trying to exchange that rook, but less forcing manner. Alireza is just pushing the pawns. He worry about nothing. French Montana. Makes sense because they're both French. Wants to go g4. Try to make it harder to tackle this knight. Time is running out there. Move 25. So still a ways to go till move 30. Yeah, it's not that easy anymore. Rook b3 gave black some time to stabilize. White should still be better, but easy it is not. Like queen d1, g4, and there's work to be done. Probably have to play h4 because hg opens the h file. Now this could go either way. Now queen d3, good move. I guess he's gonna go g4. Once again, probably h4, a good idea to keep this closed. I don't think there's any increment. So g4, h4 plate, rook b8, and bishop c1. Nice move to stabilize. b3 plate, and Alireza is saying now it's time to go for the endgame. Yeah, he is tricky. Bishop c1 was probably a little more cunning because it stops knight g3. So now we have queen g3. Then next move can be f4, rook e1. Well, depending. Of course, rook e1 only if it doesn't hang f2. This would have been bad news. Well, now at least, yeah, now he's more or less back in business actually, because he has to take. This is hanging. This is hanging. This is looming as well. White is still fine. Like rook to b1, you gotta keep this pawn. Knight takes h4. Then try to push b4, b5, b6. But Alireza should survive this. Did. Dodge a massive bullet there after bishop c1. Looks like he's just lost. So rook d1 was played instead. But now, yeah, the coronation is getting little shaken here. But another weird moment, or maybe not weird, maybe that's just being a practical player. Here after rook d2, he goes knight f5, where he could have taken the pawn, equalizing, but he wants to keep more attention on the position still. Goes knight f5. Once again, now you keep the pawn, or you keep this pawn, and you push, and it looks like white is still better. Alireza is incredibly tricky. Like, the calculation speed this guy has is absolutely out of this world. He's taking a lot of chances here, probably feeling he can get away with it because of how good he is. But even now they've made it past move 30. This is move 31. Shali has some time to think again. Still unpleasant if she goes rook b2. She has to do. Then starts pushing on the queen side. Yeah, I think he's trying to win to win the game and win the rating, not just advancing to the next round, which is fair enough. Taking chances. All right, let's do a quick tour, and then I need a little break. Anand, again 2 pawns up. Yeah. He should convert, so has to be careful, but I believe he will. Prag won against Bologan. We take 5 minutes to watch his sister play, and Prag wins the game. Beats Bologan 2-0. Good job by Prag. What happened here? Where was the moment? The position's already unpleasant. Yeah, I guess it escalated slowly. Queen b4. Queen c8. Now there's just too many issues in the position. Queen d2 back. Queen a6. After rook e1, rook d8. White is overloaded. The knight goes here. Gets hit. The queen can't keep contact with the knight. So it just collapsed. Takes. And Pragnanda wins his match 2-0. Very efficient performance. And was proven right. Played an opening to play chess today. Wins the game with the black pieces. Picks up more rating. Good job by Prag. Yeah, Raunak. I'm sure he wouldn't mind winning this, but he doesn't have to advance to the next round. So there's not too much intrigue left in that match. And this looks funky. Sadvani put his king on h6. Acting like his knight is short against Jan Timman. But there's no checkmate there. It looks nice, but I still believe in Maxim's defense and position. Bishop f1, rook d2, some move. c4, and bishop d3. He should hold. They also pass move 30. So let's check in with Vidit and Topalov. Topalov has to win, so he's also trying to spice things up a little bit. But nice move here after rook c8 from Vidit. Bishop b5. Queen d8. Now he can take the pawn if he so chooses. There's no checkmate. Well, had he taken the pawn directly, then rook c2 hits the bishop. And this is somewhat more awkward. But with the bishop on b5, rook c2 doesn't do that much. Just go v4. Big decision now for Vidit. If he takes the pawn, I guess he can also go rook d7. Just maybe more solid. After queen g5 you take. Now you take or go rook c7. You don't lose this. Maybe I'll do that. Keep control. We'll find out. Kosenyuk lost. Yeah, that. She played very well until this inexplicable a5 move. Just, yeah, giving up. The pawn and the entire position in one move. She played c3. This could have gone very differently. And Vaishali played rook b2. Knight takes h4. Now, she should push. When white should still be better. Anything can happen in this one still. Greedy Vidi is what he's called? I don't think they call him that. I've been around Vidit quite a bit. I've never heard him called Greedy Vidi. She's running. Yeah, he's gonna convert. Any quick break. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on this, whatever day it is, Monday. We'll be back with the conclusion of second game of round 1. And then the tie breaks. We have one tie break confirmed already in Kosenyuk against Abdusatorov. So, see you guys in a couple minutes. Thanks for hanging out. Welcome back, everybody. Second game of the first round of the WR Chess London knockout tournament, where Arjun Erigaisi has already made it to round number 2. Nuribek Abdusattorov won his game, equalized the score against Alexander Kostenyuk. We'll have a chance to join him in the tiebreaks. Anand is well on his way. His A-pawn is to winning his game and match against Shreya's Royal. First game was a draw there. And currently, the most exciting game is the one between Vaishali and Alireza. Vaishali would have to win in order to level the match by Alireza. Also, of course, thinking about his rating, has been playing for a win himself here, tried to mix it at any chance given here after b4. Knight to f5. She should have kept the bishop, gone bishop to d2 or bishop to g5. And instead pushed the pawn directly, and now black should be fine. After takes, and pawn to g3. Locking the king in. Then black can bring his king to the center. There's no breakthrough apparent on the queen side. If white goes b6, black can just sit with rook b7 after b takes c. You can recapture. So Alireza, big decision, but he should give up the knight now. He won't love doing this because the knight is jumpy, but it's weaker than the bishop here. And then if he can combine with g3 to lock up the king, black all of a sudden is in good shape. So things are going in the right way for Alireza. Raunak Sadvani is still trying to convert his extra exchange against Masulu, but even if he doesn't convert, as long as he doesn't hang a rook, he can exchange a rook for the knight and still draw. As long as he doesn't hang a rook, he will make it to the next round as well, because he won the first game. Prague is in round number 2 with a smooth 2-0 victory against strong grandmaster Viktor Bologan. Another game that's probably headed for tiebreaks. Another match that's probably headed for tiebreaks is Sindarov against MVL. MVL under some slight pressure here, but he will eventually sneak out and survive this. I know I had 2 more minutes. I'm working overtime here. Vidit decided to take the pawn, so maybe the Greedy Vidi nickname that you guys made up is accurate. Sorry about that. Whenever I have to sneeze, I never feel capable in time to hit the mute button. So Vidit took the pawn, rook a7. The onus on Topalov to make something happen. But is there anything? I guess you go rook c2. Look for some activity. But it's hard to imagine Vidit losing this in the endgame. Now he has a plan to just push his a-pawn. Compy says the best. Queen g5. Go for this ending. If white were to go a4 here, they can survive by doing this. But it's not black that's playing for a win. Why is this so good for black? a5 takes, rook c3. Computer just says black is in time. Alright, who are we to argue? By Topalov fighting for a draw here, not for a win. So where's the drama at? I think it's mainly in this position. Alireza will have to take some time, but he's much worse if he doesn't take the bishop. And if anything, slightly better if he does take. So I think this is what he's gonna do. And we get some position like this. White should try to bring a king out of the danger zone. But now there's always counterplay. with a potential h3 break as well. CB, you can push the a-pawn, then activate the rook. Yeah, this is no longer better for white. But Alireza has to part with his beloved knight before this bishop decides to step away. Pity for Vaishali, played a good game, and b5 was a little rushed. If she starts with this, I don't know, let's say h4, now b5. It's a very different story, because this bishop is actually very helpful, keeping everything under control. Both taking their time now. The time control, as mentioned, is 1 hour for the first 30 moves, then half an hour for the next 20 moves, and then another half hour for the rest of the game. We're currently at move 34, so they just got a fresh half hour. And a bit of thinking will be done. Tiebreaks will be at 10 p.m. London time? What's that? 11 p.m. Central European time? Probably there's a 50-minute delay. So yeah, it's a pretty full day of chess. Starting at 10 a.m. and playing a tiebreak at 10 p.m. How do you watch 4 or 5 hours of series packed into that day? Is this the first encounter between Vaishali and Alireza? Is asked. I would guess so. Where would they have played? I don't know, to be honest, but I would think so. Well, technically it's the second after the game in the morning, but I'm sure that's not the question. Can you start with g3? Also lets the bishop live, yeah? Yeah, it's also bad. No. Gotta take the bishop. Just have the stream on another monitor while working from home. So do I. Young Bodana got checkmated twice by Arjun Erigaisi. Not sure when's the last time Arjun delivered checkmate in 2 classical games in a row. Maybe never? Not sure. Sindarov still shuffling around, trying to breach MVL's defenses. I don't see it happening. He abandoned the mission to put the king in the corner. Maybe now he wants to go f4, f5. Maxime will hold this. Oh, interesting question. Knight takes e3, ba6 possible, or are we getting checkmated? I'm afraid it's the latter. And let's look, because that's an important little trick. The problem is it's black's turn. And here, this is an important line. Black can win by playing pawn to h4, a8 queen check, and the king goes somewhere. I don't think it matters. Somewhere where there's no further checks, king h7, and now the threat is knight f1, knight g3, and rook h1. There's nothing you can do about it. If you go a6, this is checkmate, and the only way to prolong it just a little bit is f3, trying to run away here, but that door gets shut with g3. And once again, there's not much to do to stop the discovered mate. But yeah, cute tactic. And what's going on? Alireza did take. F takes E plate. He takes on b5. Computer wanted this g3 move to fix things here. Alireza takes, I guess. I'm not sure actually if you take with the pawn or with the rook. Both look possible. Pawn looks more natural to me. And then after g3. Okay, you have this powerful looking pawn, but it's not really going anywhere, is it? Then the king just comes. Maybe a6 is not the way to go. Maybe you should go b6 anyway. I'm surprised white isn't better in any of this. All looks nice for white, but apparently there's always enough counterplay. Like here, rook c8. Threatening checkmate. Let's say king f1. Rook c1, king e2. Just check. Take the pawn. Now this pawn is not queening after rook a2. So apparently black is fine. However, it still looks a bit scary. Esha Morabiali, is that the Grandmaster in the chat? Jan always rocks. Thank you, thank you. Thanks for putting good words for me. Did I? You're welcome. Yeah, g3 seems important. To not allow the king to enter the game. Maybe not necessary if you start by bringing the king after king f2. You can still keep it boxed in with h4. Yeah, it looks like it's all equal. At least that's what the computer's claiming. Optically it feels like white is better, but I guess it's just an illusion. You don't queen any of these pawns. And whenever you open some files, the black rook can also spring into action. It's a question if Raunak has a win. Looks like a draw now, doesn't it? With the doubled g-pawns. This knight being firmly set on e5. He only needs a draw to advance, so maybe he wasn't using all his energy and trying to grind this one out. But I'm a bit surprised he would go g4 here. Allowing g takes h4 feels like that makes black's defense much easier. If you go even h5, I don't know if you can win this. You can certainly torture for hours and hours. Then you want to go g4. No, maybe. I threaten to exchange a pair of rooks. Not 100% sure it's winning, but it looks very, very unpleasant. Well, after g4, gh, just looks like a draw, frankly. Maybe decided. Draw will get me to the next round. No need to expand. Too much energy. So any chance that Alireza ends up winning this game? Pretty good chance, I would say. Yeah, that rook endgame is very complicated. And whatever normal looking line I try with white, the computer just laughs at me and saying, no, now you're actually worse, you idiot. So I would think there's a good chance, although yeah, it doesn't look like black is better just yet. But his position is a little easier to play. You want to bring the king, go h4. White is to make all these decisions. Go a6, go b6, go king f1. Shouldn't be winning. Like here, for example, this would be a logical draw. Just not allowing the rook to any of the open files. But I do think he has chances in a practical game. Tiebreaks are rapid bidding Armageddon. What are the rules? Black gets 15 minutes no matter what, and white just bids on the amount of time. No, white gets 15 minutes no matter what, no? And black bids on the amount of time they're comfortable playing with, and then white has to win. Black gets draws. That's how it usually works. Another Elvis doing all the work here, saying, so tomorrow's matchup seemed to be Arjun versus Vidit, Vichy versus Prague. 2 Indian clashes. 10 minutes according to REH. Alright. Alireza versus Raunak. And Nodebek / Kostenyuk versus MVL / Sindarov. Sounds very likely. Yeah. Not getting any easier for anybody. They only get 10 minutes in the Armageddon, alright. And you bid what you want to play with black. What's the going rate there? 7 minutes? I guess it's somewhere around 7. Vidit trying to activate. Computer still says black is fine. Like fine in a 0-0 type of sense, not fine in being better. It looks like it's on the verge of collapsing, but apparently just barely holds. Maxime doing? King h7, rook g8. He's defending against h5. Nice move. Rook g8, Sindarov. Found a way to start a new mating attack here with h5, h6. But rook g8 makes sure h5 is met. Right, g takes h, check. And black is fine. Will there always be no video feed? Never say never, but I don't think for this tournament any video feed is planned. Sorry, playthings. Anand, pawns are now equal. The A pawn is still the dominating force on the board. Yeah, he's just gonna win. Rook e1, a2. Bishop b5 played. The bishop wants to go to c4. But now you start with a2. Threaten to get a new queen. After rook h1, let's say. How do we win this? Rook e5 is cunning. Still complicated. Bishop c4, rook e4 doesn't work. If the bishop tries to run away this way, rook a5 wins. So still some tactics required. And Anna does go rook e1 first. Aye, bishop c4, he still has rook e4. So bishop c4 is not really a thing. And if rook h2, you go a2. Ah, that's much easier. Fair enough. Anna's gonna win, move on to the next round with the help of his little a-pawn. Drinking coffee. I know it's late at night, but gotta stay awake. We still have some tie breaks. I had no idea this was a 10-hour talking by myself gig, but I'm having fun. Hope you are as well. Sorry if you expected more insights in a video and chess expertise sense. G3 played. Yeah, this is not an easy position for white to play. Onka saying Prague will beat Anand. We'll find out. Prague, of course, Much more active, ratings are similar. But also don't underestimate how much respect this new generation of Indian top players has for the legend Vishayan. So to play him must also be a strange feeling for Prague. And Vishy gets a bit more comfortable here after winning this game. I wouldn't think it's that straightforward. Play thinks can't drink coffee after the morning anymore. I hear you. I can, but then I only stay awake till the morning. So yeah. It's double-edged sword, this coffee. Arjun stomps Vidit for 2800. Not sure, Vidit is very solid. Very hard to win a game against Vidit. Tushar is saying, sir, a few days ago I played my first tournament. I stood first in under 17. It had 5 marks out of 7. Is it good? Pretty good. Congratulations. 5 out of 7 in your first tournament? Sounds excellent. Rook b1. Go for checkmate. He's probably gonna see it. I understood Tushar. Hunches. Shreyas Royal is gonna call it a day. Somewhere around here and resign. Can give 1 or 2 spike checks. But this a-pawn is gonna cost the rook. Because bishop c4, this rook e4. So there's not really anything to hope for. And we'll make it to the next round. So where's the intrigue? Okay, we have the tiebreak. Kostenjuk up to Satorov, and most likely the tiebreak. Sindarov against Maxim. Sindarov is still trying to checkmate him here. But as I say, mean girls, stop trying to make checkmate happen. It's not going to happen. Tiebreak it is. I still feel there's some hope for Topalov. Although I'm not sure why. It does look like Vidit has everything under control. But the longer the game goes with a sort of undefined, messy situation, the better for Topalov, who's been defending all game. And here, if he has an equal position, where he can even create some threats, maybe there's still a chance. The problem is, I think there will be a perpetual one day which would allow Vidit to move on to the next round. Because here you can't go here, for example. We'll find out. And I was wrong. Shreyas Royal decided to prolong the fight, give the bishop. But why? A2, rook c1, a1. Looks like a fairly straightforward plan. Goes g4. He's pinning a lot of hopes on this g-pawn. But I don't think that pawn is quite fast enough. King e6 played. Vichy. Not in the mood to mess around. g5, king e6. It's time to let this one go. What's your take on Tamanov Sicilian classical Slav as black? Strange question. Classical Slav is very fine. Tamanov is playable, but quite risky. Those are favorites? Tiebreaker today. It's an Armageddon game. With bidding. Black gets 10 moves. No, I keep getting this wrong. White gets 10 minutes, and black can bid on the amount of time they're comfortable playing with. White then has to win the game. So typically you get something like white has 10 minutes, black has 7 minutes, and black has draws. But yeah, they're today at 10 p.m. London time, which means 11 p.m. our time. I'm not sure where you guys are based. 11 p.m. Central European time. So it's a full day of chess. Kannst du Deutsch sprechen? Nicht gut, ich habe versucht zu lernen, aber ich nuschel immer so beim Deutsch sprechen. Ich habe sehr starken Akzent, deshalb rede ich lieber Englisch auf Deutsch. Ich fühle mich nicht so wohl einfach. Aber ein bisschen kann ich. Sorry, it's a question if I can speak German. Not well, but I can speak a little bit. So increment after 40 moves? I don't think so. I think there's no increment. Alan won. Congrats. Made it to the second round. Well deserved. He dominated the first game. Missed a chance. In this one he was a little worse out of the opening. But then after 96 he pounced. I keep saying pounced. I don't even know what that word means. With his nice tactic bishop e4. Stopping rook e8 checkmate. Clearing the h7 square for his king. Went on to win this endgame. We have been living in Germany for 3 years, but you can only say the first part of what I said. I can't recall what I said. Ich spreche nicht Deutsch. Actually, it's Ich spreche kein Deutsch. Je ne parle pas français. Aber bitte red weiter. Raunak still trying? Is he winning again? Param says, nah, I want to draw. I would like to lose this, please. And it looks like Raunak might oblige. Because now all of a sudden with his rook lurking around here, some mating threats against the black king. Looks winning now. If you just kept the knight here, I think it'd be fine. But now it might be too late. Uh-oh. I did hear about the Shevchenko incident. That's what we call it, dynamic sorrows. Yeah. Shocking to hear. On many levels. Faishali Alireza game is headed down the road we anticipated. b6, a takes b. Both a takes b and rook takes b look fine. Logical conclusion. But she play ab, would be rook b6 and draw here. But of course she has to win to stay in the tournament. Alireza wants to win more rating. So neither side has really been going for a draw. And this could still go either way. Like here. I think it might be easier for black to play. White has his pawn, but it's a long way for the king to support it. Well, black can just target these guys. Maybe we get some type of position like this, where neither side can make any progress. The rook can't move. Because of being queen, the king is already on his best square, so you just go back and forth. But yeah. objectively, should that equal? Was it English? Why did Arjun play against the 2000 Eagle player? I think they had some late replacements, and I thought it was nice to give a vacant spot to the 9-year-old rising star of English women's chess. Why not? But yeah, I think Pomnishi and Duda were in the original schedule. I think Duda was replaced by Parham. I'm not quite sure about the exact machinations. That's what I saw. Vidit still chipping away. Rook f5 by Topalov. Compi didn't love. Compi wants to take this guy. Rook f5, bishop takes, king g1. No. Could take here. I guess Topalov's point is now this bishop. It's a little stuck. How is the pairing done for this round? I think it's just highest rated versus lowest rated, no? Then the guys in the middle play each other. What's that look like? Keep this in price pool. I'm pretty sure they have a price fund. I don't know what it is. Fede does not bite, does not take the pawn. Goes after the b6 pawn instead. Which is a good decision. And yeah, he's not gonna lose. Still in the driver's seat. Maybe Topalov can generate enough counterplay somehow by clearing the way for his e-pawn. That should never be enough for more than a draw. How are Kostenjuk and Nordebek tie-breaking? Kostenjuk won the first game, Nordebek won the second game. So the score is 1-1. Gabriel Knight. I used to look like Gabriel Knight when I was younger, had more hair. His days have passed. Why didn't he take the pawn with the rook? Not sure who you mean. Yeah, we're headed towards this position I mentioned. Something like this. It looks like neither side can make any progress. So they will both be unhappy, which is usually the definition of a good compromise. Mashali will be unhappy because she's out of the tournament. Alireza will be unhappy because he lost rating. This game at least. Why Vidit didn't take rook takes f7? He could have, but there's also some tactics, no? Bishop c6, rook e7, king f8, some tricks. Ritash. The interactivity is very much in my self-interest. Because if you're doing commentary by yourself, you're not talking to anybody. It's rough if you don't even talk to the chat. But no, I'm enjoying this. Thank you guys for joining. I understand. Might not have been the broadcast you had in mind with multiple qualified commentators, video feed, play interviews and so on. This is a low-tech operation. Me sitting in my basement, talking nonsense, hanging out with you guys. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you. How much rating will Alireza lose if he draws against Vaishali? Not that much. He's what? 300 points high rated? 2-5, yeah. Not that much, like 3 points. He won the first one, so there he won 2 points. So yeah, it's it's not exactly a drama for Alireza to win this match 1.5 half. Dynamic Soros wanted to see you and Sveti competing in the team chat thing again. We weren't invited. No one keeps inviting us. Or they invite us once and then they don't have us back. I don't know. If this happens once, you might blame somebody else. If this is the story of your life, maybe it's time to take a hard look into the mirror. Then again, I do look into the mirror at myself all day long, because that's where I can see myself. That's where I have the chess games. So as you can tell, I normally stare here. Haven't gained any insights. And this game is drawn. Yeah, neither side can improve the position. Draw agreed. Good effort by Vaishali. Very tough defense in the first game, which she went on to lose. And today she had chances for more than a draw. But in the end, the favorite prevails and Ali Reza go through to the second round. Congrats. He joins Erigaisi, Prague, and Armand, and 99.9% Sadvani, 84.2% Vidit. Nah, that's low. 94.2% Vidit. He's not gonna lose this. Actually, 99. So the intrigue is gonna be the Cinderov MVL tiebreak, because they finally did agree to a draw, and the Nodibek Kostenyuk tiebreak. Of course, Nodibek is a big favorite, but Kostenyuk is tough. Tough rapid player, very tough mentally. We'll see how it goes. Is there guys is still playing? No, he won 2-0 against 9-year-old Bodana. And he made it to the next round. So the games that are still running are Vidit Topalov, where Topalov would have to win to stay in the tournament, which is not happening. Just rook b4 here. And Sadvani Masudlu, where Masudlu would have to win to stay in the tournament, which is also not happening. So one could admit that stakes are mediocre at this point. But of course, in the tiebreaks, they will be higher. If you guys have had enough and are missing the tiebreaks, I'll be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. London time. Doing this for 2 days. I don't think I have the stamina for more than 2 days anyway. But with some marquee matchups. And by marquee matchups, I don't mean Mark Wahlberg against Donnie Wahlberg. But we have stuff like Erigaisi versus Vidit, Prague versus Anand. Your views on Raunak's games, his style? Can't say a big specialist. He's my teammate now in the Düsseldorf team. What I've seen from afar is, yeah, he's a well-prepared, very strong player. And the question is, can he make the next step to be a 2700 plus player? Not easy, at least I've never come close. We'll see. But yeah, it just seems like a classical, very well-prepared player. But like I said, I haven't studied him in enough detail to pick up on like small quirks of his style. Here, rook f7, and he should win. Gabriel Knight is wondering what if Vaishali tried king e2, run to the queen side. First of all, here there's king takes d5, so she would probably mean so rook b4, like king e2. But the problem is you also always have to keep an eye on these breakthroughs, like king e5. If you go too far away, then h3 is coming. Takes g2, rook b1, rook takes b7, and she will lose. So the king has to keep an eye on this h3 breakthrough. Oof. Tough thing to say for Germans. h3 breakthrough. Almost impossible. Therefore, neither side could improve. Yeah, it's a draw. Rana was the OG from Waka. That's Vichy's chess academy. Expected to be what Prague Gukesh are. I don't know. I haven't followed his career in enough detail. The last couple of years, the conversation has pretty much been about Prague Gukesh. Then Arjun joined the party. Nihal, of course, was a very big name as well. Has fallen slightly behind these guys, although he remains a tremendously strong player. And I'm sure other younger names that I'm not even aware of are up and coming. But I wasn't aware that Raunak was the OG, or supposed to be, on a higher level than those guys. Thanks, Ritesh. It's actually the humility that's fake. I tried to make it seem like I'm fake arrogant. That's actually fake humility. Don't tell anybody. When is Armageddon played? At, I think, because I'm very dumb with time zones, but I think it's 11 p.m. my time, which is 10 p.m. London time, which means in 2 hours. Long day. Long day for everybody involved. This is classical time control. The shortest classical time control allowed, but still long, still 4-hour games. Can't we have like 15 minutes classical games? Then Magnus would come back to classical chess. Win-win. Just make one rating for everything. Who cares? Magnus will still be number one. No one can keep track of all these ratings anyway. You can add a formula if you want, like long games count double, rapid games count 1, blitz games count half, whatever. But just make one rating. FIDE. This is the format Magnus wants for the World Championship? I don't know. Keeps changing his mind, doesn't he? He used to want like 2 rapid games per day, no? 2 1-hour games? I'm not sure what he currently wants. But when he's negotiating a match against World Champion Gukesh, I'm sure all these formats will be on the table. Danger Moss. Wondering how many milligrams of caffeine are in my bloodstream. I know there's a lot of blood left. I cut myself. It's quite brown normally. 30 plus 30 is FIDE approved classical? That sounds hard to believe. Like you get 30 minutes plus 30 seconds per move from move 1? That's classical? Hard to believe, but we'll trust you, AJ. AJ was always my favorite Backstreet Boy. He wouldn't lie to us. Alright. Did Raunak win? Yep. Game's over. Sadvani with a 2-0 victory against 2700 player Para Masudlu. Advances to the next round. That leaves us with just one game. Vidit is now also completely winning against Topalov. The 8 pawn is a little too fast. This guy won't make it in time. So Vida is also going to win 2-0. Get a nice rating boost from Topalov. That's 10 points right there. Rook G1 played. This just wins, no? A6. Rook A1. Just push. Get some point. We should take this guy. Yeah, blue's winning. Silvani has been around 2650 forever. Finally has broken away from it. So have I. So have I. Other direction. But other than that, my path has been exactly like Raunak's. Vida just takes the pawn, no nonsense. Let's keep contact with this g-pawn. He can just go king f4. Keep an eye on this guy. You can't stray away too far. Now, just tighten everything up here. You take the pawn, then you win. Okay, Vaseline. Let's be done with this. I need a little nap before the tiebreak start. Tomorrow's gonna be rough. I normally go to sleep very late. And yeah, Vaseline at least is listening. He does resign. There's no hope anymore. So, let us wrap up. Eric Icey wins his match 2-0. Alireza wins his match 1.5. Anand wins his match 1.5. Prag wins 2-0. Silvani wins 2-0. And Vida wins 2-0. Which leaves us with 2 tie breaks. Sindarov against MVL. And Nuribek Apusatorov, who shockingly lost his first game with white against Kostenyuk, also has to work overtime. We'll cover those tie breaks when they begin, which I would guess will be in pretty much 2 hours. It's almost 1 a.m. in India. It's gonna be late. I would guess they start 3 a.m. your time then. I don't know. Of course. By all means, stick around. But my honest advice would be go to bed. Come back ready and refreshed for the big matchups tomorrow. How much time is between last game today and the tiebreaks? 2 hours. But it could have been 1 hour had this game lasted even longer than it did, no? They should have put tie breaks side by side. Other games like Norway Chess. Yeah, Norway Chess different. There's 1 classical game and then tie breaks. Here it's 2 classical games and you don't know. And you're just much more exhausted after 2 classical games. No, Norway Chess normally okay. If you make a draw, you go play tie break. But here you could have had 2 decisive games, played 8 hours, and then to play tie break without a brief break. Does sound rough. I understand from a show perspective. Might be more entertaining, but sounds rough on the players. All right, congrats to those who made the second round. We'll cover that tomorrow at 10 a.m. But I also will be back. I really do need a quick nap and to cover the tie breaks. I think I'll switch the stream off and then come back. If you guys feel like sticking around or also taking a little nap in 2 hours to go through all the action. Thank you for watching. It's been fun. See you either later or tomorrow for more WR chess action. And while you're here, follow WR chess on Twitter. It's WR_chess. First of all, we might stream there tomorrow if it works out. And secondly, that is the mission, the true mission of this broadcast. Get some people on the WR Chess Masters Twitter account. So, do me a favor, check that out, and see you guys later if you're up for it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the good mood in the chat.